Her now from our Sea Point studios. Good afternoon, Kerryn, and thank you so much for your time on the PM News Desk.
Yeah, good afternoon, Kirshni, and to the viewers out there as well. It's great to be here.
Kerryn, more women coming out of abusive relationships right now. What's spurring the move now more so than ever before?
So I think that while there are women leaving relationships, I think there's even more women that are speaking out against the abuse that they are experiencing. And why they're doing this, I think, is definitely the increase in awareness about the nature of abuse and the types of abuse that can be experienced, that it's not limited to physical abuse, but it is also includes things like emotional, psychological, and even economic abuse. And the access to this information is becoming easier through the use of mobile technology, social media platforms. Women who are isolated in these abusive relationships can access the information without leaving their homes. And more importantly, they can reach out to service providers through the use of social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, as well as reaching out via email and websites. So they're able to gain information, gain advice and services without even leaving the home.
Kerryn, interestingly, more men are also coming forward for help than ever before. What do you attribute this to, and how are you getting it right in some cases?
So definitely in the last 5 years, we've seen an increase of services available to men who use violence in their intimate partner relationships especially. And there has also been a growing awareness around what abuse is amongst men. And men are currently seeing that by me using emotional abuse against my partner is a form of violence, something that wasn't considered violence before. And we're also definitely seeing a mind shift in the way men are viewed in the context of intimate partner violence, where before men were seen purely as the problem, they're now being seen as part of the solution to a societal problem. And instead of seeing men as perpetrators of violence, we're seeing men as clients who need assistance to learn new methods of responding to instances of conflict or disagreements in their relationship. And then, of course, it's the women themselves who are victims of intimate partner violence, who, through attrition research that was done by MOSAIC and UCT, we found that women did not want to leave their relationships. They loved their partners and they needed the violence to stop.
Kerryn,
and this is what, yes.
Yes. Kerryn, breaking the cycle of violence is crucial. It's not a battle we can win without men, you've alluded to. Describe the program in place for perpetrators of such domestic violence. And you are actually uniquely placed to answer this. Do you see a lasting change in those who display violent tendencies?
So definitely we do see a change. To speak to the program that we as MOSAIC use, we have something called the Toolkit for Men, which is a male counseling program in the context of intimate partner violence. And it works with men who use violence as well as their partners, and it focuses on behavior change. So it looks at how do we respond to instances where we are triggered or anger is triggered, and how do we better respond to those instances. So we work with the man as well as their partner, and we supplement that with support groups where men get to be part of a positive social network, a social support network that ensures accountability and sustains change. And we've definitely seen that the lasting effects of this program is men themselves that are standing up and saying, I want to be an ambassador for change. I want to make a change in my family, in my friendship circles, and in my community.
Kerryn, often rape survivors as well, saying they have to do battle on so many fronts with police, doctors, psychologists, the courts, etc., to get the justice that they actually deserve and to protect the next woman or child. How do we begin to address these levels of insensitivity?
So I think that one of the most important things that is needed across service providers that respond to victims of sexual violence is sensitivity training. It's something we as activists have been calling for many years now. We see service providers that get training in the law, in medical procedures, but not in the sensitivity to the trauma that their patients or clients have just experienced. So when we call for sensitivity training, we're calling for training that's done in partnership with civil society organizations like MOSAIC, who work with victims of sexual violence. And then we also call on the public when they're experiencing instances where they are not receiving the service that they should be receiving. Approach an organization like MOSAIC or make use of the complaints mechanisms in place.
Kerryn Rehse is the MenCare Programme Manager at MOSAIC, a training service and healing centre for women based in Cape Town. Thank you so much, Kerryn, for your time on the SABC.